welcome back to Angels and Feather. So this video is going to be for the earth signs for the week beginning today, Monday 10th of April, and I will be looking at your finance, romance, and just the week in general. So earth signs, I have shuffled your cards and pulled these out. So for the general read, I have the Three of Swords, I have the Sun, and I have the Emperor. And for me, unfortunately for this week, you might have to go through a bit of a struggle, okay? But with the Three of Swords, it's just saying that something that needs to be out in the open is going to be out in the open. You might get some news that's not going to be quite pleasing to you. If it's a relationship, possible breakup, or just a possible falling out with friends as well. But it's saying that whatever the situation is, it's going to bring you some sort of clarity at the end of it. It's not all bad, okay? If it's a breakup, just understand that this relationship was meant to go through whatever it did, and you're meant to come out with some lessons learned, and you're going to come out anew, okay? It's just saying that it's a time to get into a new phase. So we're still in the early weeks of April, so it's a time for you to now feel liberated as we go into the summertime as well. It's time for you to learn your lessons and move on with better clarity. You also have the Emperor card, the Hierophant card here. So it's telling you to get organized about your plans, okay? Get things into motion, all right? So whatever lessons you've learned from this heartbreak, be it relationship, be it at work, be it in your life in general, it's telling you that you need to take those lessons and decide what direction you want to go. It's time for you to move forward and move past the areas where you were stuck. Whatever knowledge you've gained from this situation, it's time to apply it moving forward. Now, if you were thinking of perhaps going into some sort of investment or into a new relationship, I will tell you to perhaps hold your horses for now. Now is not really the time to invest yourself into anything. It's time to sort of do a recap of what's happened to you so far from January to March, and look at what exactly it is that you want to do moving on from April into the next part of the year. Okay, so that's your general reading there. So for your money, your finances, and your career, we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Tower card, and we also have the Ace of Cups. So you have two aces, okay? So to me, this is definitely opportunity coming to you when it comes to finances. At the same time, you're also being told to be mindful of your investments, be mindful of your spending, be mindful of carelessness when it comes to your finances, okay? It's like money in, money out, money in, money out. And it's like, again, you see, it's like money just spilling, wastage, all right? Even though this is the Ace of Cups, I'm just reading intuitively here. So you have money being offered to you, money being brought to you, but then going through the Tower card here, it's like things are just not being managed properly. I would also say that if it's at work, for example, if you're managing the budget, you would really have to be careful about how you manage the budget. If you're put in charge of certain projects, I will tell you to be mindful of how it is that you plan these projects, okay? So whatever spending, if you're used to excess spending so far throughout the year, I would say that this week at least, be very mindful of your investments, be very mindful of where your money is going, okay? So if it's at work, again, be very cautious. Make sure that you're all right, so I've just taxes. So April in general is the month of, you know, taxes. So be sure that you're declaring everything that it is that you need to declare, okay? Because you might end up getting into trouble with the law, with the government. In the UK, it's the HMRC. So be mindful of how you fill in those tax papers. Be mindful of not declaring certain things because you might get into trouble for it, okay? So be sure that you're completing those tax forms properly. Be sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, because otherwise it's gonna come back to literally burn you up, all right? But otherwise, although I say that you will be spending money and, you know, you might have certain situations, it's gonna be okay, all right? So there's nothing too disastrous if you just, you know, do what I said earlier. Be mindful of what you're doing. I wouldn't say it's the season for investment when it comes to finances for now, okay? As we mentioned earlier before, the situation for this week it's not necessarily great. All right, so I'll tell you to hold off maybe until next week. Let's see next week. Or the coming weeks, but I'd say in terms of new investments, hold off on it, start saving, okay, or keep saving, but it's not the time to invest just yet when it comes to finances, okay. If you were thinking of sending money to people, I would say again, maybe hold off on that until a little bit later. All right. So hold off on it until you're sure of your financial situation, okay. So that's that. Now, when it comes to relationships in general, so family, friends, you have the Six of Cups, all right, you have the Ace of Swords, and you have a Five of Swords as well. So again, even with your relationships, I'm being shown that you might have a falling out, you might have an argument, you might have a situation here where you're sort of like going back into a relationship, or in a situation where you might show some regret for your behavior. So this week in general is one that you really need to think carefully before you act, okay. It could also be that you might be contacted by someone with whom you had a falling out with in the past to gain more clarity on the situation. So you might have a sit down with someone that you fell out with before, and it might have been something very trivial. In fact, actually, I'm getting this sort of Three of Swords energy that was here in the beginning, right? So it's saying that this person that caused you pain perhaps in the past might come back to you and try to sort of like figure things out or rekindle the friendship or relationship, okay. So it's saying that it's really up to you whether you decide to have this conversation, whether you really want this clarity, okay, with this person. It's saying that do not let your ego sort of get in the way though, all right. Do not let your emotions take over you, okay, and don't go back into a relationship just because of past memories if you haven't had the clarity and if you're unsure about where it's going. So if you decide to move forward with this friendship slash relationship, okay, decide and be clear of what it is that you want from this relationship, okay. You will be able to get a breakthrough though if you do decide to speak to this person. As long as you put your ego aside, it's going to happen, all right. So if it's someone, for example, who hurt you in the past, be mindful of narcissistic tendencies. Be mindful of someone trying to gaslight you as well, I'm feeling, okay. So be sure to stand on your own 2 feet. Be sure to speak your mind and say how you feel, okay. Do not let this person intimidate you or bully you into admission of guilt for whatever it is that you may not have done, may or may not have done, okay. So be mindful of your words during this time as well, okay. And lastly, the general energy here I have is the Knight of Pentacles. So again, patience, perseverance for this week is really the key, okay. When it comes to finances, the Knight of Pentacles is all about planning, okay. It's all about patience, it's all about hard work. So this week really for you is about investing in yourself, working hard. I don't want you to spend, okay. Hold your pennies tight, okay. Penny pinch if you have to. Watch things before you start acting, because you can see the horse here is not a moving one. It stands still, it just watches, and then it makes a decision, okay. So I want you to really pay attention to your pockets, pay attention to your actions this week, okay. No rush, take time, okay, because otherwise you might end up regretting it later in the year. So that's that for the cards. So I'm going to pull a couple more messages, general messages for you. These are messages of what it is that you need to surrender for this week. Okay. I'll pull 3. Okay. And one more. That one. Perfect. And then I will pull a couple more of this one. For the week beginning today. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, I have surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. So surrender to inner peace. And again, you can see her just leaping off into the air with the birds. Surrender your ego. Cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. All right. And lastly, surrender to effortlessly. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. I think this message sort of generalizes what I mentioned earlier before, where I said be mindful of your ego getting in the way of situations, right? It's telling you here that you shouldn't fret, okay? Take things easily. Look at this. Surrender to your inner peace. Allow the chaos to die down and just be calm, be still, okay? Do not let your ego get in the way of you achieving certain things. If it's not happening this week, it's going to happen sometime later. And if it doesn't happen, it just means that it's not meant to be, okay? So just let things flow effortlessly. Stop forcing it, all right? Allow yourself to be stripped naked, not necessarily physically, but just in the sense that there are certain things that you need to go through. There are certain things that you need to see and analyze and express, perhaps. So allow this week to just pass through and learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn, okay? Don't force things. Let things happen naturally, okay? Because there are lessons that you're meant to get from here, and those lessons will help you make better decisions in the future. So with this deck, I have the Mirror card, which means that anything is possible. There's nothing drawn in this card, which means that the drawing board is yours. Whatever you want in your life, you can manifest. I have the Separation card. Going back to the cards I pulled earlier, I mentioned about a possible breakup. The Three of Swords came up, the Five of Swords came up, and the Six of Cups came up as well. So it could be someone that you broke up with before that's trying to come back into your life, trying to make things a possibility. But again, remember I said earlier, be careful about this person guilt tripping you into this relationship or into this situation, okay? So be mindful of this person who tries to come back into your life. Now, if you are the one who's just broken up, okay, again, be mindful of gaslighting, be mindful of bullying, be mindful of someone trying to force you into a decision that is not yours, okay? If you've decided to finally break up with this person, allow yourself to truly make this decision and do not be swayed by it. All right, because I feel like this week is really going to be one where you're going to feel the pressure from other people, where you're going to feel people pointing fingers at you. If you decided to break off with someone and your family say, well, why did you break up with that person? Or your friends say, oh, why? If you feel you were right to break up with that person, stand on it, okay? Do not let yourself be pressured by other people, okay? This week is it's a journey that you really have to start taking. It's a journey of reflection, okay? Do not allow yourself to be intimidated or pushed into making a certain decision by other people. You have everything that you need within you. You create whatever it is that you want in your life. Now, this week is not going to be an easy one for you, Earth signs, but it's just that you need to understand that whatever happens needs to happen for you to move on to better things. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna pull lastly the extra love cards and then finally the archangel messages for you. Okay, so earth signs, I have shuffled and I've got 3 cards for you. Messages when it comes to love for this week, April 10th. Okay, emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. So the next card says surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. And lastly, when you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and your memories that you've shared with those you love. So again, very much similar to the messages that I gave you before about letting go and letting things be, because there are certain things that you need to go through at the moment. Just make sure that you don't have a clouded perception. Just make sure that you don't allow other people to cloud your vision, as it said here. Let go of resentment and let go of anything that does not fulfill you. Surrender to the situation. Again, let go and everything will work out. And remember that this too shall pass. All right, so that's for the love. And lastly, I'm going to pull an archangel message for you to end the video. So what is the message for this week? Oh. So message from Archangel Michael. I am always safe and protected. My business is a great success and endures all economic cycles with ease. It is easy for me to remove obstacles from my path. I am able to handle challenges. And on the back it says the black onyx is the crystal for you for this week? Are you trying to reach a goal and keep getting pulled off course? Maintain your focus, identify and release distractions, keeping you from moving forward. Visualize your future. Know that you can easily work through any issues that may arise. Success is yours. This again very much summarizes everything that I've said in this video. I've said that you're safe, you're protected, right, with the mirror card. I also said that things are gonna go well. Just allow the cycle to flow through with ease and let go of anything that's holding you back. Okay, you are able to handle all challenges that come at you this week. So stay strong, be wise, and act consciously. All right, so earth signs, that was your video. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you hopefully in the next video.